Doc Jimmy, thanks for asking all the right questions. I don't have all the right answers, but I will tell you from our experience. So one of the things, well, the mandate for universal healthcare is really with the government. No? So we can we're expecting from the government that they would at least look at the successful examples, demonstrations of how UHC can actually move forward in the country. I was attending a webinar by PATH. PATH is this like large NGO, I think, or maybe organization that looks at healthcare in developing countries. And it was actually a webinar on primary care and UHC. So primary care and UHC. And they were setting up as an example the case of Brazil and Kenya, as the model implementation of UHC in the world. And they then, when the Kenyans and the Brazilians started describing, how they're rolling out UHC, they started describing what they call a community healthcare advocate or a community healthcare promoter. Ako naman, sabi ko, wait, that's actually our community healthcare coordinator in Atipan. And in Kenya and in Brazil, they haven't even gone towards digital health. We have gone to digital health. So we are actually showing in Atipan an example of how UHC can be moved forward with digital health. And as I showed you, we have leapfrogged developed countries in terms of digital health to underserved communities. In the US, there's so many underserved communities. I studied them when I was at Charles Drew, minority health. That was all the things that I did. And there's so many problems. One of the things I think is that the private healthcare enterprise, that's a big problem in the US. They're causing the prices to go up, and nobody can afford healthcare in the US, and it's a huge problem. So, if that's the direction our healthcare system is going through, then we may be encountering the same problems here in the Philippines. Again, the mandate of UHC is with the government. So we expect the government to pay for UHC. And the way it's going to be done is through PhilHealth. So we've looked at PhilHealth. In fact, we've communicated with PhilHealth and we've shown them Atipan, and we've asked them if they have any plans to actually pay for telemedicine to the most marginalized communities. So the answer to us was, you need to get accredited, because this is the only way we can pay for those services. And this is the only way Atipan can be sustained. So that the services that we're now offering for free should be paid for, diba? But then when we looked at the accreditation requirements for being an accredited PhilHealth provider of primary health to the communities, it's really a really high barrier. So that even if people like us in Atipan are actually willing to go to the indigenous communities, we can't, because we can't get reimbursed by PhilHealth because of the really the high barrier for being accredited. And we've talked to them about this. We've even talked to PhilHealth about, can there be exemptions, for example, for indigenous communities? So they're thinking about it. So the way we want to move forward is really to eventually become government reimbursed, because this is the only way. I mean, poor people can't pay for healthcare. Indigenous people cannot pay for healthcare. And this is what we know. This is why we offer it for free. So it's a policy level change that we have to back up with data, and we have the data in Atipan. So we can bring it up. If they would only listen, or at least take a look at what's going on in Atipan, maybe there's a way forward for UHC. After all, UHC has been a law since 2017 or maybe 2019, and it's been a long time. In Atipan, it took us 6 months to roll out the project, and it's been generating. We have about close to 10,000 data points now, and there's a lot of data there. I haven't even shown you the updated analysis, and there's many. We now see what's going on in these communities that are unreached by our healthcare system. It's all in the data, so we can feed that to our government agencies.
Let's just hope that they will think about the proposal.
I do hope that NAST is in a position to advise our government. I do hope that NAST would exert power, their power. We have very little power as scientists, na? But when we come together, we can exert, power over policies.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point,